So I'm boiling sap today, everybody. I had a week off. Didn't have any syrup running for a few days. It was just too cold. This has been the strangest sap season ever. We'll have like a 2-day run and then nothing for 3 or 4 days. You really need to be able to cook your sap after 3 days, sometimes 4. But if there's ice in the buckets, it helps a lot to keep the sap from turning yellow and spoiling. So, I'm supposed to be having a sap run again tomorrow. I'm trying to boil off what I can. I came out this morning and this was froze solid, and my buckets that I didn't have room for in the tote were froze solid also. So we parked it on the driveway hoping that a little more heat would get to it instead of being parked in the yard. But now the sun's moved off and you can see I'm in the shade. My valve was still froze shut, and now it's getting to be much later in the day. So I got my sap and my fire going with just the yard sap, and got just a slight trickle going on this, but that valve would not go. It was froze. I remembered we did this last year. So I got it out. For some reason this heater won't run if we leave it in the shop. So I had it in the garage, and it really helps him boost his engine heat on his old diesel trucks. So for it to run when we need it, we got to keep it in the house. So I brought it out, hoisted it up onto the trailer. All you have to do is plug it in and set it for the setting that you want to go. He's always go. It just runs on kerosene or #1 fuel oil. And I just keep feeling that to make sure that it's not getting too hot. But this tank is doing a lot better. I can see it moving around now. I was looking to see if I had a yardstick anywhere, but my valve will move here now, so that's good. But I mean, it wouldn't move an inch. I just got a slight trickle out of it. I remembered something that I had forgotten about filtering. We had so much ice in the woods yesterday. You see, this is all slushy in here. I have a pre-filter that I put in here in the previous years, and it is the liter snap-on filter, and it's just a long wool type sock, and that gets a lot more finer material than my milk strainer. So if you are still working on doing your sap, that's a good thing to help you. We put in the paper filter that goes in the bottom of that stainless steel cone. And you can see we were getting so much ice that it was freezing the paper in here, and then it was also freezing right on the cone. So if you're having freezing sap, this is a good way to get it warmed up so that I could walk around and do other things instead of sitting here with a heat gun. That just would have taken way too long. And we're going to cook this through the night as much as possible. You can't always cook at night, and you can't always just leave it with an open arch like this. You got to really keep an eye on it. Sometimes the neighbors get a little nosy and make some phone calls wondering if you're burning the place down or something, so be careful of that. So we've got the gate closed and latched, but like today, a guy from the electric company was checking out the utility poles out in the field, and he came right up and knocked on the door. So I let him know that they've got our phone number, they need to call ahead. He was putting himself in a dangerous situation in this type of neighborhood. Wearing an orange vest the way he was instead of like a green utility vest. Not a great idea. So I told him if he wants to switch that pole out, he better call ahead next time. So here's the fire. Things are going good here. And well, they're going good now that my sap isn't so frozen. We had so much sap yesterday's sap run that the tote got full, and we brought back 12 buckets with the lids on them to keep them from sloshing around. And of course they were, you know, a third to a quarter frozen, and it took a little while for them to thaw and get it going, but I've got a good fire now. So I'm not getting it letting it get so big and out of control. Just getting a good steam on it so that I don't have to work real hard at it. But this will be done up. My last boil was 450 gallons. This one's just a single tote, and whatever might run tomorrow. So we'll see. We should have this boiled off by Sunday morning.